saw an engineer get beat down. Or we rewinding the tape too far.
The music industry had never seen anything like this.
As Dr. Dre goes, been there, done
By
that.
1996, Death Row wasn't a label anymore, it was a pressure cooker. You could feel the tension before you even walked through the doors. The studio used to be a sanctuary for Dr. Dre, a place where he could disappear into the music, but now, every session felt like he was recording with one hand on the mixer and the other hand on that jammy jam. It's your host from the West Coast, Nate Kusher. Let's get into it. See, Dre built the West Coast sound from scratch. He turned Compton into a global frequency. But somewhere along the lines, the music stopped being the focus. The politics got louder, the street ties got heavier, and Dre realized he wasn't creating anymore. He was surviving. So, he did the unthinkable. He walked away. We already talked about it, you know. No masters, no catalog, no percentages, nothing. He left millions on the table. All he took with him was his name. People said he was crazy. They said he was done, washed, finished, a dud. But Dre wasn't running. He was about to rebrand. And when Dre stepped out of that death row shadow, Jimmy Iovine was waiting on the other side. Jimmy Iovine wasn't from the streets. He wasn't from Compton. He wasn't from Detroit. He was from the boardrooms, those executive boardrooms, the place where culture gets shaped before the world even sees it. See, Jimmy knew Dre from a different standpoint. He didn't see the gangster rap producer. He didn't see the death row drama. He saw a musical genius who needed a space to breathe. He saw a visionary who needed a clean slate. Jimmy told Dre, come to Interscope, build something new, build something that's yours, no politics, no street pressure, no chaos, just creativity. That something new became Aftermath Entertainment, a label born from the ashes of Death Row built on trust instead of fear. But a label doesn't guarantee success. I mean, just because you sign on the dotted line, that don't mean anybody really cares, right? So Dre's first steps at Aftermath was pretty rough, but eventually he got on his feet. When Dre launched Aftermath, the industry didn't clap, they laughed. His first project, Dr. Dre Presents The Aftermath, it didn't really hit. It didn't connect with the streets. The marketing flopped. It didn't connect with the charts. It just didn't connect with anybody. For the first time in his career, Dre wasn't the golden child. He was the underdog. The whispers started. Dre fell off. Dre ain't got it no more. Death Row was the real magic behind him anyway. MTV barely blinked at Aftermath. But he didn't let that stop him. He didn't fold under the pressure. He stayed in the studio night after night, searching for that new sound. Trying out new drums, new drum kits, samples, new flows, rebranding, rebuilding from scratch. Not as a Death Row producer, but as the next evolution to the West Coast scene overall. This was Dre in the wilderness, alone, hungry, and determined. And then Jimmy Iovine walked in holding a demo tape that changed everything.
Dre's at my house, and we're going through a bunch of things. I said, look, you know, I got this tape of this white guy from Detroit. Some of the guys around the office really like it. He heard like a song and a half, and he goes, give me that tape. I'm taking it with me.
Jimmy handed Dre a cassette from a rapper out of Detroit, a white kid, a battle rapper at that. Somebody the industry didn't take seriously. Someone who didn't fit the standard mode of the typical 90s rapper. Dre pressed play. The room changed. The rhyme scheme was insane. The aggression from this kid was raw. The humor was twisted, the pain was real. The voice was unlike anything Dre had ever heard. This wasn't just talent, this was character, a new archetype in hip-hop. Dr. Dre didn't hesitate. He didn't ask for the number, he didn't ask for stats, he didn't ask for opinions. He said one thing: find him and bring him to me. That demo tape that Eminem sent to Dre changed both of their lives and hip-hop forever. So within days, Marshall Mathers was on a plane to LA. When Eminem walked into the studio, Dre didn't waste no time. He pointed to the booth and said, I got a beat for you. No small talk, no introductions, just pure creation and magic. M stepped in the booth and recorded "My Name Is" right there on the spot. One take, one moment, that spark. The chemistry was instant. Dre had finally found the voice he'd been searching for, the missing piece to Aftermath's identity. A new face to hip hop. And Eminem finally found someone who believed in him and his craft without hesitation. The two worlds collided, but in a good way. Compton and Detroit. Two outcasts, two perfectionists, two geniuses. And together they created a sound that would redefine an entire generation. With Dre and Eminem locked in, Aftermath finally had its heartbeat. After Eminem blew the doors open, Dre felt something he hadn't felt in years. Momentum, confidence, purpose. The studio was alive again. The sound was evolving and Dre was ready to make a statement. He was back. He wanted to create an album that wasn't just music. It was a declaration, a reminder, a warning, a rebirth. And that album would become The Chronic 2001. Dre called in the heavy hitters. He brought back Snoop. The chemistry was still there, untouched by time and what Death Row had, what people thought, scorn. He was reunited with NWA for Chin Check on the Next Friday soundtrack. A moment that felt like the West Coast was finally healing itself. And behind the scenes, Dre made a move that shocked the industry later on. He brought in Jay-Z, the hottest pen in New York, to help write Still Dre, a classic West Coast hit. Not because Dre needed help, but because Dre wanted perfection. Jay wrote the verses, Dr. Dre delivered them like they was carved out of his own DNA. And when that piano came in and the beat hit, the whole world knew Dre was back. The Chronic 2001 just wasn't some regular album. It was a resurrection. It was Dre reclaiming the throne. From Tupac to Eazy-E, the West Coast is rising back up from the ashes. Dr. Dre didn't reclaim the throne. With Aftermath, he rebuilt the entire West.